I was managing communication for climate change researchers when somebody said to me, "I'm only one person. How can I adapt to climate change?" I realized I wasn't hearing people talk about this as something immediate and personal. Instead, it was for future generations and far-off lands. But with recent reports showing us what to expect over even the next 20 years, we need to start having conversations about how we're going to adapt to hotter heat waves, bigger storms, and cycles of drought and flood. Talking to friends and strangers about adapting to climate change, I realized I can clear a room at a party. It's too complicated, confusing, and frankly frightening. So I asked the experts. I'm researching personal adaptation to climate change, asking the policymakers and the researchers who influence today's decisions, how do you think tomorrow will be different? I filmed 30 Australians or Canadians who work with climate change knowledge and asked, how do you talk to your family and friends about the next 20 years? The conversations focused on three main areas: climate change knowledge, the stories we tell one another or narrative communication, and how we think about the future. I realized that future thinking mattered when someone declined to be part of the study saying, I don't think about the next 2 weeks, let alone the next 20 years. And I realized that personal issues such as aging made a difference when someone's immediate response to, how old will you be in 2035, was, I'm not going to retire. Only 4 of the 30 shared with family and friends clear stories about what climate change meant to them personally. Most reflected a professional practice of imagining and discussing this solely as a global issue. This lack of experience in imagining a personal future affected by climate change makes it difficult to talk about. And as we know from fire drills, the shared and repeated rehearsals of imagined events can make us better able to deal with a fire at work. But that doesn't make us able to deal with it better at home unless we also discuss how those impacts would affect us there. The most exciting finding in this research has been that professional knowledge about climate change does not necessarily make us better able to deal with the impacts. I'm working with the Griffith Film School to make a movie that shows people sharing ideas, hopes, and fears about the future affected by climate change. Maybe this can help us all start having new conversations with family and friends. Climate change is a global issue, but the way that we each choose to adapt is personal, and we don't have to make those choices alone.